Welcome back. Rich Preston has been relieved of his duties by the Lethbridge Hurricanes. The move came late last night after a Board of Governors meeting and the decision made public at a media conference this morning. Daryl Rummold has the story.
Late last night, Rich Preston was relieved of his duties with the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
For many fans, it was a long-awaited move. After 4 seasons behind the bench, 4 years without a postseason appearance, Rich Preston was removed as head coach and general manager of the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
We want to thank Rich for his time here. He did things we asked him to do. We asked him to rebuild this hockey team through the draft, and that was done.
What Preston didn't do was deliver on the expectations on the ice, posting a record of 100, 156, 3, and 29 over 4 years, missing the postseason in each of them, and suffering one of the worst post-Christmas collapses in franchise history, plummeting from 4th in the East to 9th in just 30 games.
We came to the conclusion that this was the best move to move forward.
Preston is succeeded by his former assistant GM, Brad Robson, a former Calgary City police officer with more than 30 years in hockey. For now, his focus is on May 2nd and the WHL Bantam Draft, then finding a coach. Robson says he does have an idea what kind of coach he'd like to see behind the bench of the Lethbridge Hurricanes. He's just not sure who that person is yet. He's going to take some time and evaluate after the WHL season ends and probably have someone in place by July. Still, some wonder if this is change enough for the franchise. Robson was Preston's right-hand man. They wonder if it'll be more of the same despite his vow to fans.
We'll be competitive. We will be consistent, accountable, and with a strong work habits.
While that remains to be seen, what is known is that the contracts of both assistant coaches Matt Kabiyama and Chris Chisimore will expire in May and will not be renewed. Daryl Rummold, CTV Sports, Lethbridge.
And sources have told CTV that a group of potential owners from outside the community are interested in putting in an offer to buy the Lethbridge Hurricanes. That would include local people with hockey experience as well. All right, to the WHL playoffs, and the Tigers have the Saskatoon Blades against the ropes. And if the Tigers roar again tonight and hand the Blades another loss, this time in Medicine Hat, they will be up 3-0 with a chance to sweep tomorrow night. The Saskatoon Blades are hosting the Memorial Cup this year, so they will be in it no matter what as the host. But if they get knocked out in the first round, they likely won't play again for about a month or so before taking on the best in the country. Not a great scenario for them. Game 4 is tomorrow night. From last night in the sole game on the schedule, the Swift Current Broncos battled their way back into the series with the Calgary Hitmen, winning Game 3, 3-2 in overtime. Game 4 is tonight, with the Hitmen now leading the series 2-1. All right, his gruff style and tough demeanor got him a Stanley Cup, so how tough can getting a pipeline started be? Well, Daryl Sutter, an Alberta farm boy and coach of the Stanley Cup winning Los Angeles Kings, planned to bring the Keystone Pipeline up with U.S. President Barack Obama today. Each year, the White House hosts the Stanley Cup champions, if they are American. When the Kings meet the Prez this afternoon, Daryl Sutter planned to ask Obama if he'll approve the controversial pipeline, which will carry oil from Alberta through the American Midwest. For the record, Sutter says he's strongly in favor of the Keystone. Of course, it runs through his farm. Finally, here is a good example in case you missed it, sort of thing, from sports. The expression "play it where it lays" took on a whole new meaning this weekend for Spanish golfer Sergio Garcia.
How can the ball stay there? That's what he has to be at.
Yes.
How about that?
I think he even took
A wild tee shot at the Arnold Palmer Invitational in Florida left Garcia's ball 5 meters in the air, wedged into the crook of a tree. Garcia climbed into the tree, completed the incredible one-handed shot, chip shot, I guess. But the magic moment came at a price. While it thrilled the crowd and amazed fellow players that Garcia would do it, Garcia injured his shoulder and had to withdraw from the final round, which would have lost him a substantial amount of money depending on where he placed when it was all over. One of those things you laugh about, think it's cool, and then later on you go, man, that might have cost me a lot of money. It all depends on where he would have finished, but a gutsy move nonetheless.
And that event, of course, the same one that put Tiger Woods back on top in the golf world.
#1 ranking overall, once again taking over from Rory McIlroy.
Coming up next, we're going to take a look at some bees.
That's a lot of bees.
Swarm of bees.
That's a mud flap of bees.